COVID-19 until they get it. So it's important for everyone to follow health guidance. What precautions are you taking to stay safe?
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, low-income employees scammed through fake housing project, independence of Ombudsman's office undermined by Justice Ministry, AMTA introduces Golden Fresh brand, and Roundup Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the Weather. Over 200 low-income employees, that include domestic workers, fell prey to a scammer who promised them land to build affordable houses. The victims paid between 3,000 and 6,000 Namibian dollars for registration in the hopes of becoming homeowners.
We are very, very unhappy. This union was for domestic workers. As domestic workers, we told our bosses, this is the situation. They made EFTs to this account. We were not eating. Now today we have to hear that our money has been eaten. We were promised until today. Now we have to find out. We are very unhappy. We have promised our kids we are going to get our houses, we will get our land. Until now, we are very unhappy. Delphia must pay. This UNE project was a fake from the beginning. We want justice. We want justice. What is the union? Our leaders, they must hear us. This is how we've been scammed. We're being robbed. We are only hearing these things in the internet, though, so on. But we were scammed in our own land by our own people. How? How do we eradicate poverty? How? Domestic workers gave their monies in here, trusting someone to help us, but now we are sitting here like nothing. We need help.
The group has taken a stand against Delphia Sokhus, the alleged scammer who took thousands of dollars from the poor through a fake union and her alleged housing project called Ihuni Housing Project. Sokhus was arrested recently and the victims demand that she pay back their money and for her to be refused bail.
The members have made it clear that the reason why we have joined this specific union is because we are looking for a land. We have joined this union under the leadership of Delphia Sokhus on the basis that she has promised us land. And we have given money, people have given money. And you should see that these are, people with low income. And we just found out recently that this was after 5 years or maybe after 6 years. It has not been, it was not done with a good intention. She has taken money from these poor people and then she has used it for her personal gain and for her personal use. So if one member had to pay about $6,000, and then you should also include the membership fees that we have paid, about $2,000. I'm standing with my receipts right now. We have paid the membership fees from 2014 until 2022, and that was about $2,000 plus the $6,000 that for the housing project that had to be paid. So if we calculate, one member approximately paid about $8,000, and if we're 180, that's a lot of money to just fall into somebody's pockets for nothing.
Many of the members only recently found out that the union did not exist, adding that desperation of owning a house led them to join these organizations and groups as they just want a place of their own.
We have been scammed, the youth, the old, the low income. Do we ever have a dream to own land one day in our own country? We have been through this, not only us here today, but all other people countrywide. When will the land issue be sorted in our country? Desperation has got us camped. Mr. President, whoever the leaders, please, can something be done on the land issue, especially to the youth and the low income? We are suffering because of this thing that has become fashion. It's trending nowadays. It's very sad. What do we vote for at the end of the day? We have gotten so desperate. We will come over and over television, but to no avail, we don't get assistance. Whenever again, when will our leaders hear us? When will they come out there and attend to our queries? Just a little land is all we want for our kids and for ourselves.
Hoekom sê ek dit gebeur het? Ek het vir my 2009 26 Junie vir my besit of jy gaan geregistreer. Ons het gewag omdat ons so lank wag, gaan ons na die groepe toe om vir ons te gaan registreer. En na 9 jaar wat ek klaar geregistreer het, het ek teruggekom Dolfie om vir my te kom registreer. Ons het kennis. Ons het die plek om te bly nie. Ons het in Windhoek gebore. Ek is in Windhoek gebore. Maar ek het nie 'n grond nie. Sê die of Windhoek hoor vir ons. Ons kan vir my gaan geregistreer. As julle vir ons gehelp het, sou ons nie in die dinge ingekom het nie. As julle vir ons opgestaan het, hoekom daar lang kribbing is oorsterke dinge. Sê die of Windhoek, hier is my Bijbel. 2009, 26 Junie. Down. Jy moet gestraf word en sy moet nie gaan terug nie. Ons soek die geld dat ons grond gegee word. Die geld moet gaan na munisipaliteit toe. Laat ons grond kry. My hake kan go voor my. Monica kan go help my. Job Awanda help my. Ombudsman help vir ons. Ons heil. Ons kinders as ek dit wat gaan. Want hoe gaan my kinders?
They are calling on members of the public to refrain from doing business with Sukhus in the future. The suspect has been refused bail and will return to court on the 11th of November 2021.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia Sounds with the Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
BBC's Smart Money program presents an exciting new technology segment dubbed Smart Tech.
Ghana have a problem of unemployment, also the problem of housing and schools under trees. Now Plus wants to use the problem of plastic waste to solve the problem of schools under trees, housing, and create more jobs for the youth in the country.
Bonjour. Hello, I am Saoudou Niang, director of the Palms Luxury Boutique Hotel in Dakar. I started by cleaning a toilet. Today, I am the manager of my own 5-star hotel boutique with 60 employees.
To give more people access to these life-saving vaccines, South Africa and India have proposed a waiver of COVID-19 patents, and the move seems to be gathering momentum after receiving the backing of the United States. But even if the patent waiver is indeed granted, can Africa manufacture these vaccines at scale?
The Justice Ministry's control over the Ombudsman's budget, according to the incoming Ombudsman, Basilius Yakua, undermines the independence of the office.
For several years, appeals to amend the Ombudsman Act to give the office full independence have been met with silence, according to the incoming Ombudsman, Basilias Tiakua, who was recently nominated by President Hage Geingob as Namibia's new Ombudsman. The Justice Ministry's stronghold over the Ombudsman's budget compromises its independence.
We need to have the office of the Ombudsman to be more of independent, impartial, as it is stated in the Constitution. And for that to happen is actually really to discuss the issue with the line Ministry of Justice I'm referring to now, with regard to the appointment of complement of the staff members in the office of the Ombudsman, and also the aspect of the budget, the financial aspect, because it's also the office currently gets its financial budget through the Ministry of Justice. They control actually the finance of the Ombudsman.
In order for the Office of the Ombudsman to successfully investigate claims, particularly high-profile probes into governmental organizations and agencies' administrative acts, the office must have a budget that is sufficient to carry out the functions as set out by the law. The Ombudsman states that the cases he takes on will be determined by the funding made available to his office, noting that he will prioritize environmental complaints because they are associated with human rights concerns.
From the Ombudsman's point of view, it's difficult for you to predict how many cases you will get throughout the year, and whether those cases will be minor cases or bigger cases. So that is actually what I will definitely try to figure out when I'm in office, to see how is actually the budget allocation is done. So if it is just done in terms of estimation, then that is something that we need to estimate properly, because normally budget is you budget through the program that you have put forth, but you cannot really budget now in terms of the Ombudsman's activities, how many cases we will have in this year. So you can do that maybe by looking at the previous statistics, and then you add few numbers, maybe to cover you up in case you have more cases. So yeah, bigger cases, we will actually, in my view, environmental issues is very, very important, because if you look at the human rights aspect, it's all anchored at environmental issues. If your water is polluted, your health situation is threatened, your human rights situation is threatened. If all trees are cut, then climate change is really a threat to the human and even to your domestic livestock. So these are all anchored to human rights situation. So I will really focus more on environmental issues.
President Hage Geingob recently extended Advocate John Walters' 17-year term as acting ombudsman for a 2-month period. Walters' term is set to expire at the end of September, with Basilias Tiakua taking office in early October.
Get ready to enjoy Simba's sounds of flavor.
Hola Simba flavors. Let's roll. Liza, smoke beef. Kwanga vinegar. Shaya chocolate. Shakita mud.
Together we roll because Simba roars with flavor.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up. Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it, and then make it better.
Hello, world. It's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try.
Make mistakes.
Ask.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.
Full of cheers. Tafolaga, Namibian like you.
The Agro Marketing and Trade Agency, AMTA, introduced a brand called Gold and Fresh, under which all local farm produce sold through the agency will be labelled.
The product is pure and free of genetically modified organisms, says the manager of markets, business and product development, Gervashis Tikusho.
All the products that will recently be launched, whether it's the bright chicken, bright packs, canned products, fruits and veg, the maize meal, mahango flour, are all going to be labeled as Gold and Fresh moving forward. It's a brand, it's AMTA brand, it's a new brand that we are highly marketing as we speak now. So we came with our maize meal for our farmers to know that this is the produce that they have grown, that AMTA has milled eventually, and then pack it and then further again give it back to the community. It's 100% GMO free, no preservative, it's purely a product of the farmers.
All local products, be it chicken, canned food or vegetables, will be sold under the Gold and Fresh brand, says Tikusho. He encourages all Namibians to support locally produced products.
We are advocating for local consumption of these products. It must reach into the hospitals, it must reach into the hostels, prisons. Let the Namibian people eat what they have been growing. Hospitals, schools and so forth and so forth. Even the retailers that are here, they must make use of these products because it's our own. Let's feel proud and make use of this product.
The Agro Marketing and Trade Agency serves as a middleman for farmers and consumers. They ensure that farmers grow products in line with market requirements.
We are the catalysts, we're in the middle. So what we do is we make sure that the farmers are growing in line with what the market wants, and then eventually distribute these products that the farmers are growing to various institutions, whether it's the retailers, hospitals, prisons, and the general traders as well. So we are in the middle. So what we always advocate for is the farmers to be always in contact with AMTA so that they are regularly informed on what crops to grow at what time, right? So that it's in line with what the market requires.
To prevent farmers from growing products that aren't in line with the market requirements, farmers need to consult the Agro Marketing and Trade Agency frequently, says Tikusho.
Why do we do it? Cover up, tone down, hide, instead of choosing boldness. Celebrate the skin you're in with Nivea Rich Nourishing. Our triple layered care of deep moisture serum, natural almond oil, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Choose to wear your skin with pride every time with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
need to be together again. But until then, let's stay safe.
Joseph Parkman was in and out of prison, dealing and doing drugs. Then a drug deal went wrong. Joseph was robbed, handcuffed, and scared straight out of the business. For 6 months, he roamed the streets as a homeless addict. Then one night, in a baseball dugout, Joseph met a stranger who totally changed his life.
I stand in awe of the power of the God who's our creator. And Terry and I sit here on this program, and the Lord speaks to us, and it's the word of knowledge. It's one of the manifestations of the Holy Spirit.
Something not always godly.
Not always, that's right. Well, there's a lot of negative voices out there, as we know.
Yes, there are.
And
so how do you know when it's God saying, Perry, I want to speak this to you right now?
And sometimes you don't know. And I think you pray over it and you think about it. And sometimes you just, a lot of times I'll just envision, as you and I are talking here today, I may envision that I'm here talking with God. And how am I supposed to address this issue?
Okay? Realize Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the same for you right now. So let's pray. Let's call on his name and let him do the rest for you. Let's pray.
In other leading stories, in its quest to assist women and youth in agriculture, Agribank disbursed loans to the value of $43 million towards women, while another $38.7 million benefited the youth as clients under 40 years of age during the 2020-2021 financial year. More than $36 million worth of loans were disbursed to companies and groups during the reporting period, which also included female beneficiaries. Agribank is determined to increase the participation of women and youth in the agricultural sector, and towards this goal, the bank implemented a specific loan scheme targeting women and youth since October last year. The Women and Youth Loan Scheme is different from the conventional funding of the bank, as it offers distinct terms and conditions. These terms and conditions include the provision of farming equipment or land being financed as collateral. Additionally, where the farmer has an offtake agreement with buyers of his or her agriculture produce, such an agreement can also serve as collateral. Moreover, under the scheme, the bank is also offering special treatment for agricultural professionals, flexible grace periods, and tolerance for collateral shortfalls. Under the scheme, qualifying women and youth may access various loan products for agricultural purposes within the categories of short, medium, and long-term loans payable between 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and 10 to 25 years, respectively. Women from the age of 18 years and above, as well as youth between 18 and 35 years, do qualify under the Women and Youth Loan Scheme. However, for agricultural professionals, there is no limit on age and gender. Women and youth are therefore informed that the bank will resume the nationwide roadshow with the objective of engaging women and youth in agriculture and provide insight into various loan products under the Women and Youth Loan Scheme while explaining the loan application process in detail.
Sy het nog steeds abandonment issues.
Is moontlik.
Al ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jy regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk.
Hoe gaan ek 'n bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om haar tipsy te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at papa.
Get ready to enjoy Simba's sounds of flavor.
All the Simba flavors. Let's roll. Liza, smoke beef. Ranga finiga. Shaya chaki. Shakita mat. Ossa.
Together we roar because Simba roars with flavor.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by for today's edition of Business on One and Economic Indicators.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. The Agricultural Bank of Namibia has for the 5th year in a row delivered solid financial results. I sat with the Acting Chief Executive Officer, Louis Dutoy, who took us through the institution's 2020-2021 annual report and performance that led to the disbursement of 217 million and a surplus of 37 million.
Described by the Minister of Finance as one of the few government enterprises that is doing extremely well and producing financial statements on time, Agribank has once again delivered on promises made to the shareholder at its annual general meeting held on the 31st of August 2021.
We've been able to disburse in excess of 217 million. Of that 217 million, we disbursed 44 million to women, which is up from 21 million in the previous year. We were also able to disburse 39 million in loans to youth, as well as a further 13 million in loans to our communal farmers with no collateral support. And we were able to increase our collections during the financial year by 13%. In support of COVID-19 funding, and as you would have seen through the measures announced by the Minister of Finance, we've been able to raise funding of 350 million. That is through government guarantee support, and this funding was raised through GIPF and the Social Security Commission, and this allowed us to assist our farmers during these times of COVID-19. So where the loans were in arrears, we gave them the ability to normalise their loans. We also provided COVID-19 installment relief support to our farmers, as well as stimulus funding of 200 million to support our farmers through this post-recovery phase. In addition, we were able to reduce our interest rates with effect 1 June 2020 to make our loans more affordable to our farmers during these times.
During the period under review, the Agricultural Bank operated in a difficult environment with the COVID-19 pandemic affecting lending institutions across the financial sector. It achieved an overall score of 82% on Prudential Standards ratings, reflecting operational efficiency and good corporate governance.
In terms of the financial impacts, Agribank has been impacted, and quite severely. We've seen quite a big or dramatic increase in our number of defaulting customers, and this has impacted our provisions negatively by 22 million. Furthermore, dealing specifically with the uncertainties posed by future COVID-19 on our business, we've made a judgmental increase in our provisions of 10% to cater for these uncertainties, which has further negatively impacted profits by 20 million. We did see a slowdown in disbursements due to the slowdown in the economy and farm sales, and this impacted our interest income growth by 7.5 million. And lastly, we also saw, by means of the reduction in interest rates, a decrease in profits of 15 million for the year under review.
During the 2020-2021 period, the bank's assets grew by 12% from 3.1 billion Namibia dollars in the previous financial year to 3.4 billion Namibian dollars. The Agricultural Bank of Namibia is required by law to submit an annual report before the 6th month of the end of each financial year.
Thank you for watching. Join me again next time, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Are you a CMAS member? Did you know that should you need medical treatment, you have access to quality private hospitalization, guaranteed specialist treatment in private hospitals across Namibia with Complement Gap. Complement Gap is a complimentary product for CMAS members only, which covers the shortfall between what CMAS pays and private hospitals charge. You and your family have more than 2 million in medical gap cover per year at a very affordable price. That's not all. You also have access to emergency evacuation within Namibia and $10 million international travel cover for those unforeseen events abroad. Take the financial burden off your shoulders, invest in your family's health. SMS GAP to 999 555 and we'll contact you. Terms and conditions apply.
Stay connected during lockdown with unlimited internet from as little as 399 Namibian dollars per month. Get faster home internet at these amazing prices. Sign up now and get free installation plus double the speed, or enjoy double the speed if you're already signed up. Contact us at spectraadmin@mtc.com.na or call toll-free 90111. Get there with MTC Spectra Home. MTC, make the connection.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The affirmative repositioning movement leadership has denied reports calling their recent confrontation with a Chinese employer a publicity stunt to promote their soon-to-be registered labor union, the Revolutionary Union. According to the leadership, once the union is registered, they are coming after employers that are violating labor laws. Zweli says this is the kind of news Namibians want to hear, adding that at least the AR is saving underpaid workers. Paul noted that that is the purpose of the union. Tommy noted that if the labour inspectors do their jobs, there will be no need for labour unions. While Peter, Frau Gebhardt and Phila noted that whether it is a publicity stunt or not, the AR is standing up for the employees. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia sounds with our Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Time now for today's sports update with Castro Ulumbu.
Welcome and thank you for joining me, Castro Ulumbo, for this evening's edition of Sports on One. Team Namibia that represented the country at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, Japan, arrived back home yesterday. The team was accorded a hero's welcome as they were led through a street procession. The Frankie Fredericks Foundation also pledged $100,000 Namibia dollars for the team. Today on One Sports has more on this story. At the official event, former 100-meter and 200-meter Olympian four-time silver medalist sprinter Frankie Fredericks announced a pledge of $100,000 Namibia dollars to the para-athletes team for representing the country well at the world stage in Tokyo.
They are an inspiration to me, and I hope they're also inspiration to most of you. The thing that stood out for me at the Games was when, after Ananias won his medal and they were in the bus, and I could see the team spirit when they started singing as a unity in the team. That brought back to me, because I think it was one of these struggle songs that we sing, that we have won the battle. And it took me back to when I was a young boy in Katatura. The struggles I went through and what I have achieved. I think this is the inspiration that these athletes have instilled in us. But what I want to share today is to make sure that we continue to support these athletes. I have tried to support Johannes. I gave him $250,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but if you think of 5 years of somebody training for a medal, it is little. And we have to continue to try and support and give more to these various athletes. I don't want to say much, because I just want to encourage them, because I know coming back home, you're going back home tonight. Tomorrow, you don't know how you're going to pay your bills. You're not sure how you're going to pay your water. You're not sure how you're going to pay your rent. So I just want to make a small pledge from myself and from the foundation that I'm pledging $20,000 to each athlete and $10,000 to each of the supporting staff, the guide, and the coaches. So I think I'm pledging $100,000 to the athletes, just to say thank you. Thank you for the sacrifice that you're doing. And let's, as a collective, look after our athletes. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the athletes, para-athlete and bronze medalist winner in the T13 100-meter track race event at the recently ended Paralympic Games, Johannes Nambala expressed gratitude towards the country's support whilst at the Games. He also promised more success from his fellow athletes in the future.
When we went to Tokyo, we went to compete, not to take part. And with this one, before we go there, we went to the president of Namibia, and he encouraged us to go and do the best. And the promise that we made is that when we are coming back, we won't come back with empty hands. As we know, some of us, this is our second and third Olympic, and all those past Olympics, we come with something. Why not this one? And when we went there, it wasn't really easy because of the weather. It's changing. Sometimes it's hot, it's raining, and it was really difficult for us to cope. And our coaches, they used to force us just to stay outside because you are just there dozing, and really they help us a lot. And this is not the end of our performance. As next year there's a World Championship again in Japan, and the preparation of that competition is already starting today. We are not going to take part, we are going to perform and bring another medal. Yeah, with this one, I just want to say thanks to the sponsors. We know that Paralympic sport is not a cheap sport, especially athletics. When you are counting one athlete, you also need a guide, which means it's a double sport. And all the equipment that they use, and all the effort that they put, they suffered. Some of them, they don't work. They are coming from informal settlement, and go and train at Olympia. It's very far, 5 kilos, and it's a triple to pay a taxi to go there. Just want to say thanks to Frankie Fredericks Foundation. I just want to say thanks to NAM Power on the Ministry of Sport for being there for us as athletes. I just want to invite also more companies to come on board, please. We won't disappoint you. It's a promise that I will make until I'm here. And Ananias, we won't disappoint you. And the young ones, thank you very much.
Namibia was represented by 3 athletes in 2 disciplines at the Paralympic Games, returning home with 2 medals, a silver medal in the T11 400-meter track race event courtesy of Ananias Shikongo, and a bronze medal from Johannes Nambala in the T13 100-meter track race event. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks a lot, Castro, for the latest in sports. Time now for the weather forecast.
Now a look at the weather forecast. But first, an advisory from the Windhoek office. Windy conditions will persist over the interior into the weekend. The interior will be partly cloudy and hot. The coast will be partly cloudy and mild to warm, and wind will be light northeasterly to fresh southwesterly. Now let's look at the minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
We have come to the end of this evening's edition of Today on One. Do join us again for a repeat at 9:30, 6 a.m. and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 to 2. From me, Maggie Forciero, and the rest of the team, till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
I like rhinos. I like them very much. Future here in this area is depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a free business. What is a female?
Cut it off.
I take two of my sons, which was little bit 5 years old. They were young guys. So they asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future. My first memory of going with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining to tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palamba. So I decided to go for tour guide studies because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. You can see the hyena. The biggest change is I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
It's a cultural thing. It's coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Tweefontein, area was a lot of paintings. You will see rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palamba, and Palamba is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, but as you can see, the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free-roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the Northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place, more specifically the establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife. And having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife, and it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people actually wanted to see continuing.
Very few countries have the wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place, which also involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was really difficult for young people to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an unfenced area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit.
over coronavirus fears. Airline industry is facing its biggest threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first place, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, Save the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of 2 rhinos that was poached. We had less boots on the ground, and poachers could actually see. Now it's our change to go in and do something. So COVID-19 was tough on all of us. Ginger Morning, who is one of our trustees, actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some gold for us and make gold bars? And then we sell them for the rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2 Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bar was made, and I think it was 31st of January that we launched the bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh, what now? So I picked up my phone and I phoned Mark Daw. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but when we've got the fund already ready for you, you just have to apply, put a proposal in.
1,000 ounces of gold can make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there. We are, in essence, providing income and providing a livelihood to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became even more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this a fund that will last for the next 25, 30 years, or even longer. And a portion of that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going towards responsible NGOs. And we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO. And IRDNC, one of the first organizations that was in the Northwest, integrated rural development and nature conservation, so that ultimately the funds go to the communities and various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those hardworking men and women that are always in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, I think by now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground is actually protecting the wildlife that's working on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeka Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the reverse side we've got the serial number, you've got the Rand refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world people will recognize the stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution. And at Ballowwood we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once in a lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcase really what the project is all about.
It's from 24 karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate to the conservation of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2 Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2Gold.
But thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people sustain their jobs going forward. And who doesn't want gold?
And the B2Gold Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off and those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have the biggest rhino population or black rhino population in the world, let it be for the rest of our lives. And it's that heritage that we have. It's our resource that we can all look after and protect.
It's our heritage. And it's also good that other people like B2Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos, their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren.
If we can bring that passion over to future generations and to hand that over to my children, and I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
You know, I think as far as B2Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation pillar is concerned. And I want to stress there that the money that's going towards environment and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
Akili, 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 akili. We love to wash our hands, and this is how we do it. Wash, wash with clean water. Scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. Rinse, rinse with clean water, and then the germs will go. We love to wash our hands, and this is how we do it. Wash, wash with clean water. Scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. Rinse, rinse with clean water, and then the germs will go. Yay! Well done, soap and water. You got rid of all the germs on Achilles' head.
More than ever before, football fans demand unique insight and analysis. The Football Review is much more than a highlights show. Bold, provocative editorial that goes beyond conventional reporting, setting the agenda for football discussion. Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Liga 1, and much more. Want genuine insight with hard-hitting editorial? Need compelling premium football content? The Football Review. Best bar none.